And here we go. Grant Wise, one of the most top gurus of Facebook ads in the country. I want to thank you so much for joining our Agent Mechanics coaching group this morning. I know your time is valuable, and these agents are working so hard to add one deal every single week to their production. This is week 4, right? This is how important you are out of a 90-day series. So week 1 was mindset. Week 2 was using your personal Facebook, your sphere to make money. Week 3 was CRM. Week 4 is Facebook ads. These 4 weeks, everything, we can add 2 or 3 deals a week to their transaction. But today, like I asked you, I cannot wait to see you build a real Facebook ad to show them not only how important Whitley is, and there's only a very few products in the nation right now that I am promoting. And obviously I don't get paid or anything, but I believe in a couple products. We're going to go over them over the next several weeks, but yours is the most important to me. So please tell us a little bit about Whitley, and then I'm going to give everybody homework. Pre-recorded your past videos. So you're going to need to send me those links, and I'll put them in our group, and I'll make sure they watch those. And I'm going to get everybody up to speed for Facebook ads, because as we go through this, you guys, we're going to come up with more and more ideas that we can all use, test, split test, A/B test, whatever you want to call it, and then share with the group what's working the best in whatever market we're in, right? So without further ado, Grant, I'm going to let you take over this and explain Whitley in a nutshell, and then show us how to build a Facebook ad, and then maybe we'll have a few minutes for Q&A, but really I want you to have the most amount of the time. Sound good?
Awesome, man. I really appreciate it. Giving you just a quick backstory on Whitley. Whitley is a client generation software, and I know that doesn't really mean a ton to everybody just yet, but I'll give you like the 2 main reasons people love using Whitley. The first is a lot of the marketing automation. What we did when we built the Whitley platform is we took literally hours and sometimes weeks worth of work, and we built a tool that basically just does it all for people. So building landing pages, writing email sequences, text sequences, call sequences, integrating that stuff, placing your pixels, making sure it's compliant. What currently, and for the most part, a lot of people have to build that stuff just to run advertisements, just to go out there and generate leads and stuff like that. So what we did is we took all of that and we just pre-built it. So there are a ton of pre-built marketing automations that exist inside of Whitley that do a lot of the hard work. So we took hours of work and we shrunk it down into just a few minutes of work, which is partly why I could show you how to do this live on a webinar. Normally it would take hours and hours and hours to do that. And I would say the second reason people love Whitley so much is because of a new thing that we just released. It's our auto audience tool. And what that really allows us to do, the opportunity to do, is just help you sync your database of contacts through to Facebook. And it allows you to target market your past clients, your sphere of influence, new leads, old leads, and use tools like remarketing and those different types of things to really just own the attention of your prospect, of your community, of your marketplace, so that you can convert more deals. So there's a lot of really cool things that the platform does, but Whitley primarily is a training and technology company. We've packaged up all of our training on Facebook ads and generating buyer leads and seller leads and retargeting and video marketing and conversion and scripts. We took all that stuff and we just put it in this really cool little platform that helps you generate more clients, which is what we're fixated on. I don't really just want to help you generate more leads. I want to help you turn your business into this little client generating machine that just helps you predictably grow by 1 deal a week, by 2 deals a week, by 3 deals a week. And everybody can do that. It's really pretty simple. So today I'm going to show you how to set up a Facebook ad to start generating leads. So if you guys follow my instruction explicitly, everything that I'm about to do, you'll be able to leave this and go in like 20 or 30 minutes of work. You'll be able to put out a Facebook ad and you'll start getting leads coming into your business within 24 to 48 hours. That's how fast it can work. That's how simple it is. It's not overly complex. Just please make sure and take explicit notes. Like, you don't try to follow the screen, and all this stuff is recorded. You can go back and watch it. Just take notes and then write down your questions. It's really important. We'll probably save some of the questions near the end. So if you're asking questions and they don't get answered, please don't feel bad. We just want to make sure that we get through this and show you guys what to do. So giving you a visual understanding of what my goal is here. Excuse me. If you want, Mike, you guys, if you copy this link, it's marketinggenius.tv/CGS. And this is just kind of like some of the backstory that shows you like what a client generation system is, why we build it. and all that. So this would just really help you. But I wanted to show you guys this for this outline right here. So this is what I kind of want to help lay out for you. The first thing that we do when we build a client generation system is we generate leads. The second thing we do is we leverage retargeting and remarketing to help us build a brand. So if you guys are struggling right now to get leads to answer the phone, they're not answering your text, you're really, really struggling pretty bad to get conversion, this is the biggest problem that retargeting, remarketing solves. And Whitley helps you do a lot of this. And then we obviously try to get people to set appointments with us so that we can close more business. So what I'm going to show you guys how to do really fast is how to put a Facebook ad in place so you get those leads coming in. Everybody can see my screen, right? I see the chat thing going off. I just want to make sure.
Yeah, you're good. They're just wanting the link. We're going to repost the link, guys, so don't panic. Just pay attention right now.
Got it. All right, so first thing that we're going to do, I'm going to show you guys how to do build what we call the homes list. So the homes list campaign is basically where we commit to providing a list of homes on the marketplace that somebody can gain access to, priced under a certain price point. So this is not a complex campaign. It's really easy to implement. And I'm no hero here. I didn't develop anything special. You just look back through the history of real estate. Everybody wants a list of properties available on the market. So all we did is we made that accessible online. And so this campaign works every single market I've ever ran it. It's never not worked. It works in Canada. It works in the UK. It works in India. It works in Mexico. Everywhere we've ran it, all over the world, we've had success. So I know that you'll have success too. So what we'll do is we'll come into the ads manager, and I went ahead a step. So if you come into the ads manager, it looks like this. You click create, and then it brings you to a page that looks kind of like this. There's quick creation, and then there's guided creation. I usually use guided creation when creating the ads just because that's what we're usually teaching on. So I'll come in and I'll make sure that I select the special ad category, and I'll select housing. We have to do that because real estate agents are in a special category when it comes to advertising on Facebook. If you don't do that, they won't let you run the ad. And if you try to push it through enough times without changing anything or making adjustments, they'll close your ad account. So just be respectful and mindful of what they're asking us to do. So we're going to select the lead generation objective. And I'm going to call this the Mike B campaign. And then we want to use something called campaign budget optimization. And I'm going to put my starting budget at $10 a day. Really simple stuff. There are immense amounts of theory into what campaign budget optimization is. But at the end of the day, in its most simplistic form, just know this: Facebook's artificial intelligence when it comes to machine learning and advertising and ad optimization and algorithms is way smarter than most of the media buyers in the world. Campaign budget optimization allows you to leverage that genius without you trying to do a ton of hard work. It makes it really easy, simple for you to implement and execute on a lot of the things that you're trying to do. So just, I don't want to just say trust me, but if you want more information on what campaign budget optimization, it's not going to benefit you to go do a ton of research, but just use it and then hit continue.
Is $10 a realistic daily budget, or should it be more? Should it be as much as you could possibly afford? Is there a theory that you have on that?
What we always try to do is tell people to, we tell people to start around $300 a month. That's $10 a day total, but we break that budget out a little bit differently. So we use a 6-3-1 formula. That's 60% of the budget goes towards lead generation, 30% goes towards remarketing, and then 10% goes towards a call to action campaign. So that's how we would break it down. That's actually $6 a day for generating leads, not 10. So it's totally a realistic number. And then what we always advise is spend until you close your first deal or you get your first contract. And then that way you can get some type of an idea for what your cost per your end result is. So if your cost per closing is $300, well, then great. Now we know that if we want to sell a house a week, we just got to spend $300 a week. Boom. It's as easy as that. We want to go until we figure out what that number is. And then once we know that, now we know how to really kind of scale things up based on whatever our goals are. So that's our recommendation there. We will come in and we'll name our ad set, Mike B. I'm going to use just my normal Facebook page here. And then we are going to create a new audience. I don't think I have our saved audiences in here. So with Facebook's special category, ad category, you guys cannot use location, you can't use age, gender, and there are some detailed targeting things that have been turned off. And then if you click show more options, yeah, you can add specific things. So we do things in tiers. So tier 1, we would add Zillow. What we're doing is we're adding searchable things. So like if I'm going to go to Google and look at a house, well, I'm probably going to land on Zillow or realtor.com. I'm going to land on some of those third-party sites. So you'll see that a lot of my first category of search terms are things that match with whatever I'm finding online. So those are just a few examples. And then what you'll see right here is this button. It's called narrow audience. So we have our first tier of ads that we will run, or I'm sorry, targeting terms that we'll add in. But then we took it a step further and we created this second tier. So what Facebook is basically saying, think of this like a circle graph, right? Where there's a circle over here, and then they kind of intertwine in the middle. What we're doing is we're taking categories from both sides and we're saying basically Facebook, we want this sample of data and we want this sample of data, but we only want the people that connect in the middle. And I don't know if you can actually even see me when I was doing that on my hands.
Yeah, we can see you.
Okay, good. So what we're doing is we're saying, Facebook, we want people from this set of data, and then we want people from this set of data. And then that's going to give us the best results. So then when we come down here, we'll type in things like real estate appraisal. We'll type in things like mortgage. Sorry, can't type. Mortgage loans, mortgage calculator, mortgage broker. We'll type in a bunch of different terms. Residential. And then there's like 4 or 5 more terms. Sorry, I'm trying to grab this. 5. Yeah, so tier 1, homes.com, realtor.com, Trulia, Zillow, real estate broker. And then we get into tier 2, and then these are all the terms that we have for tier 2. I'm not going to type all of these in just because I'm going to turn this ad off as soon as we're done. But if you guys look right here, and I'll share this mic with you, so that this is a lot of targeting. Now, Mike, tell your people, like, don't share this because typically people pay us quite a bit of money to access these materials. And
you just told them right now.
Yeah, I just want to make sure you guys know this. Like, please don't take this and screenshot it, share it with a bunch of people. I came in here in confidence to share this stuff with you guys. So please don't do that. But I just want to show you what that second tier looks like. And then there's optional things that you can add. You can no longer exclude, but those are just some of the terms. So what we'll do is we'll put all that stuff in there. So now we have tier 1 in our audience and we have tier 2. So this really helps us do is it helps us generate some pretty quality leads because they're having to match categories on both sides. It's not just one big sampling of data.
So people are really typing in real estate appraisal, like in real estate mortgage calculator. Like I would never have thought to use those.
Yeah, you got to think like when people go look for all these things. Well, an appraisal is like his estimate in some categories, right? So then people start searching those things, or they'll look at a home and there'll be a calculator right there if they're looking at Zillow. Like those are just little micro examples, but then they'll start clicking on the calculator. So these are a lot of terms that are really associated with the transaction. And looking back at some of these things, single family detached home, residential area, for sale by owner, mortgage broker, pre-qualification lending. These are definitely quite a few things that people are getting searched. And then there's these fringe categories, right? So at the core, they're usually just searching a lot of these things up here, right? They're searching they're searching for these third-party sites. But this fringe category, which is like the second tier of information, this is a lot of like things that end up getting searched as a byproduct.
Wow.
Placements, guys, recommend automatic placements. We used to actually recommend the opposite, but Facebook started showing a lot of preferential treatment automatic placements. So you don't have to change anything. The ad's optimized for leads. Everything looks good. And then we don't set an end date. We just let the ad run as long as possible. One thing I did not do is I did not set. Oh no.
So we can't do zip codes. We can't do a radius. We can't do anything.
Right. So sorry, I accidentally just messed that up. Now you can change the location to like your area.
But I can't do.
But you can't drop a pin. You can't use a zip code. No, you can't do any of those things.
It's a city, basically.
Yep. So a city, or you can do a county. So if I wanted to, I could do a county as well.
Gotcha.
That kind of changes things. So if I took the city out and I just marketed the county, it's going to hit everything in that county. So that kind of moves the blanket of radius down, because if you see it, my county is right here, but then if I add in the city, it starts throwing in a radius like way bigger than maybe I want to market to.
Yeah.
So if you want, you can hit the county, which will change and adjust some of those types of things. Sorry, I accidentally did that. I did not mean to do that.
We'd like to see it twice.
Yeah.
We're realtors. We need to see everything twice.
Burn it into the brain there. Okay, so put that stuff in place, and then I'm going to hit continue. And then now I'm to the creative part of the ad. So I've got my Facebook page. That's the identity where the ad's coming from. I don't have an Instagram single discount. And then I'm going to do a single image or video. I'm not going to use carousels. These perform better. And then sometimes there will be a pre-populated image that will land when you come here. I just X that out because you don't need that image, and then click the add media button and then add the image back. So when we're using, when we're marketing for homes lists, what we'll do is we will go to canva.com and we will create this collage image, and that gives us this snapshot of different homes that we can view. Now, what we are seeing, and we have seen for quite some time, is if we take like different houses and we put them into a slideshow video where they just scroll through, what it's allowing us to do is capture the video view as well. So we get to create, it's another form of audience that we get to create to remarket to. I've seen it work really well all the way around, but we just throw that image in there. And again, guys, if you go to canva.com, this is a free image creation tool. You can just come in here and you can create a collage image. And that's how we created that. I didn't want to do it on here because it takes a little bit of time, but we'll take our image, and then now we're going to come in and add our text. Now placements, again, you can tweak around with a lot of the stuff. You can select certain placements for certain things. I wouldn't mess with it. You don't have to. We're seeing incredible results without doing anything other than just exactly what I'm showing you right here. So I'm in the Northwest Arkansas market. That's where I live. So I'm going to throw an emoji. And I'm going to throw a little simple headline like this. If you're marketing to sellers, you can always say attention Northwest Arkansas home buyers or homeowners or whatever you want. Sorry, should have copied and pasted. Now, NWA is Northwest Arkansas. If people are from here, they actually know what that means. But you just use whatever city name that you got.
I used to make fun of you for that all the time.
Yeah.
Now, can you do a landing page or with a picture, or do you just do one or the other?
I would use a lead form right now just because they perform better. So
lead form through Facebook.
The lead form through Facebook is performing better than the off of Facebook.
Okay.
I've created a free report of homes for sale. Okay, so a couple of things. Attention to NWA, I've created a free report of homes for sale right here. For sale, priced under $265,000 right here in Northwest Arkansas. Some of these homes even qualify for special financing. Click below to gain instant access. Okay, so this number is really important. This is a pro tip. We kind of turned this into a science as we ran these ads thousands of times. The number, what you do is you go to the MLS and look at the median price point of homes sold in the last 90 days. What that's going to tell you is where all the action in the market's taking place. That needs to be what your homes list price point is, because that's where all the attention is. If you get this number wrong, if you go too high, your cost per lead will increase as well. Now here's something funny. If you go too low, your price per lead will increase as well, because there's not as many people in the market on the top or bottom, right? That's why we go average, we go with the median. So the median price point of homes sold, that's a really, really important detail. And then some of these homes even qualify for special financing programs. Now, some people don't like saying this, and I understand why, but here's why we do, and here's why it works so well. The mortgage industry has done a phenomenal job at creating programs for all types of prospective buyers. And this campaign, we use this to generate sellers all the time. If somebody's going to sell a home or buy a home, typically 52% of the time they have a home to sell as well. So this is a great, great, easy strategy for generating both buyers and sellers. But that number is really important. So if somebody says, hey, I just wanted to know more about your special financing programs, the easiest thing that we always say is, I would love to get you connected to figure out what you might qualify for. I'm not a loan officer, so I cannot approve you for one of those, but let's go ahead and pair you with one of our preferred vendors or whatever, and we'll see what you qualify for. It's really just a conversation starter. It's not meant to be anything more. You're not quoting rates. You're not doing anything that's non-compliant. We've had a lot of success with this language. If you don't feel comfortable, just take it out. But we know that this works really well, so try not to take it out if you can help yourself. So then you go to your headline, it's your free homes list, and you can always throw some emojis in there as well if you would like. And then we don't put a description in, we don't put a display link in, and then we turn the sign up button into a learn more button. Okay, so that's the ad portion of this. That's the ad portion. Now what we got to do is we got to create the lead form. Now I'm going to show you one, and if you still want me to show you how to create one, I can, but it's basically the same thing. So we have homes under 249. I know the ad says 265, but I'm going to change that so that they match. So what we have here is we have our lead form priced under 249K. So if you look, if we were to create one, this is what the headline would say, this is what the description would say, and then this is, I think, the subheadline. And I'll walk you through this. But then the next page, there's the privacy policy with images of the properties from the ad. And then if they hit submit, it would take them to this page where it says, hey, we received your information. We'll be sending this list back out to you right now. You can click the access my list button below to go ahead and view now. So what we'll do, some of you might have websites that have IDX integrations, and you can just post a link where I'm going to show you here in a second, and then that'll take them right to your list. Some of you don't have that, but you have an MLS link that you could paste right there, and that would take them to view the list. Some of you don't want to do that. So then we'll show you how to create a thank you page with Whitley here in a second, where you can link them right to your Whitley page, and then that would take care of it just as well. So this is what the form looks like. Now, if I wanted to go, I could just click duplicate there, but I just want to show you guys because most of you will probably be creating this from scratch. I'm going to put my new form in place. And this is for internal settings. You've got more volume or higher intent. You can select whichever one that you want. I've not necessarily seen a huge difference in results based on which one you're selecting right there. And then we would go to the intro. So you've got your headline right here. You can use the image from your ad if you want, or you can upload a new image. We just use the image from the ad, so there's not a whole lot of creative that has to take place. And just like the form said a second ago, I was talking about this is the description. And all I'm really doing is recapping what my ad said, not a whole lot of more special information. It's pretty consistent experience throughout. And then we would move down to the questions. So right now it says learn more by providing your information below. You can put please enter your information, or you can put please confirm your information. I've seen where that's good because Facebook auto-populates their information, but maybe they have a different email address or a different phone number. So sometimes instead of please enter your information, we'll put please confirm your information. And then we have your email and then your full name, and then we want to add the phone number. So we want to make sure that we're getting name, email, phone number for every single lead that we generate. So now we've got name, email, phone number, everything's good. And then we'll go to privacy policy. Now, a lot of people, most of you do not have compliant websites. Most. I could imagine that Mike, how many, 48 people are on here, 47 of you do not have compliant websites. So this is really important. You cannot run lead form ads without a privacy policy. If you do not have one, we created a pretty standard one that if you were to visit our page, like if you were using some of our marketing strategies, we let you use our privacy policy. So if you just copy our link address and then paste it, that satisfies the need for a privacy policy. You can also use EXP corporates because they have a privacy policy. You can use Mike Bjorkman, and he's got one. You can use, we have a university one. We have like a bunch of different policies. This is not going to do anything other than provide people a place to go look at what your TOS is, your terms of service is, if you have one. A lot of people, they don't really, but some want to know what you're doing with their information. Just like you kind of see, you know, right here, so on and so forth. If you want to use ours, you can definitely do that.
Thanks,
if you're in a mortgage field where you typically will have legal disclaimers, you can add your own disclaimer right here by add custom disclaimer. And then we got a review screen that just gives people an opportunity to review the information. And if you wanted to make it to where they didn't, you just turn it to higher volume, and that takes the review screen off. And then you have your thank you screen. Hey, thanks, you're all set. You can put something like, you can just leave it blank. Not seeing big, huge results either way. What we're after here is the lead, guys. We're not really after much other than just grabbing that piece of information. And then you can hit view website. You can change that to open my list, whatever you want. And then right here is where we were talking about if you have a website and you can create a search where they go and they see homes under 265. If you go create a list of homes in the MLS and you send it to yourself, that will give you a hyperlink in your email, and you can paste that link right there. And then a lot of times people don't have that. So in Whitley, what we have is we have just a plain, where is it? Thank you page. Yeah, right here. So you can just create a thank you page, and that's all that is a thank you page so that people can go view it. A lot of times if we're doing that, we'll just go ahead and create a homes list. That way, if anybody lands, they get a very consistent experience. But going back to this, I'm just going to paste the website.
And those of you that are at EXP, don't forget through KV Core, we can build those squeeze pages in seconds that are awesome, and you can drop that in there.
Yeah. Okay, so once I've got that, I'll just click save. All changes have been saved, then I'll hit finish. So now I got my list, my lead form. Everything's great, all looks good. And then what I can do is I can hit confirm. So I just built the advertisement, all right? Golden, everything's great, life is good. But what a huge mistake that people make is that they generate those leads and then nothing happens with them. They'll call them, they'll text them, and then they'll pay all this money, and then they don't do anything with them. So this is crucial. This is a big thing that we did in Whitley with the marketing automation, is we have preset emails, texts, calls, all that stuff that just like with a couple of seconds of typing, and I'm going to show you here in just a second, you can put those leads at least somewhere where they're getting interaction and communication from you. If you can put them into KV Core, put them into KV Core. Do not, my main point is do not drop these people into a piece of paper like this, an Excel sheet, anything like that. These people must go somewhere where you can, in an organized way, follow up and communicate with them. So what I'm going to show you real fast is what we did in Whitley to make it really, really easy for you guys to do that. So let's say I'm going to create a homes list campaign. I'm just going to call this the Mike B, just so for description purposes. Mike B homes list. I'm going to put them on my updated homes list. And then I want to make sure that they get emails. So I'm going to turn that on. I want to make sure they get text from me. I'm going to turn that on. And then I'm going to use Instant Connect. So Instant Connect is an instant calling feature. When a lead opts in, Whitley will call you and say, hey, Mike, you have a lead, press 1 to be connected, and it'll instantly connect you with them over the phone. I'm going to throw my images on because this actually creates landing pages for you too. You don't have to build them. Whitley builds them for you. You just have to select your pictures. And then it's convertible in English and Spanish, so I can change this to Spanish and the whole experience will change to Spanish, all the emails, text, landing pages, everything. I'm going to keep that in English. And then the location is Northwest Arkansas. The price point's $265K. And then I'm going to make sure that all of my leads give me a phone number. It's really important to me. And then boom, done. So it just took me about 30 seconds right there. And I created what I created right there. Just, I know this is kind of mind blowing, but I created 2 landing pages. I created an entire year's worth of emails, an entire year's worth of text, the calling features, the pixels, everything's integrated to Facebook. Like everything that you guys manually have to do, my software just did for me in 20 or 30 seconds. So that was the original idea behind Whitley, was to create something that made it overly simplistic to be able to get business. So if I come in here and I edit this out, I can look at everything if I want to. If I open the funnel, you'll see that it created automatically these beautiful landing pages. It took 2 seconds to do that. Everything is automatically done to be based on EU standards, compliant, which you have to do if you're going to run Facebook ads. So everything's cookied up, pixeled up. This is, love it, love it. It's awesome. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to make sure that if I'm getting leads from Facebook, I'm getting notified of that. Because if you don't integrate these to a CRM, you're not going to get notified. There's leads are going to be sitting there. So it's really important you connect this with something that will notify you that you're getting those. So I'm going to click this Manage Lead Ad button right here in Facebook. And it takes a second to fetch the data. And I don't remember where, this has like all of my ads running. So give me a second. Mike B right there. So I want them to go onto my Mike B funnel, boom, and then hit subscribe. So now when a lead comes in from Facebook, I'm going to get a call from Whitley that says, hey, you have a new lead, press 1 to be connected. I'm going to get a text that says, hey, you have a new lead. I'm going to get an email that says, hey, you have a new lead. And then those leads are also going to get emails from me, text from me. All of those automations are going to start firing off. So no lead falls through the cracks. So that was the biggest reason we created Whitley, was because everything was so technologically advanced. Most agents were struggling to implement anything. So we just said, what if we could just do this all for them? And that's what Whitley is. Like, this is us just doing all that hard work for you. So you're not really having to be these highly technologically advanced marketers. You can just implement something really simple that works, where you're not having to do a lot of that. So that's all set up. And then, so now what happened, guys, I just launched my homes list. I'm going to go to my outline here. I just launched my homes list. So now I've got something that's going to be bringing me leads, and I put them into a system. So now they're going to be getting followed up with, or if I want them to go to my other CRM, Whitley can help you do a lot of that stuff. And just make sure that those leads never fall through the cracks. Now, number one problem in the industry right now, in some cases, isn't just getting leads. It is what? Converting them. Because everybody says, well, I can close anything as long as I can get in front of them, but nobody's answering the phone. My emails are going to junk mail. My text is doing this. You have all these different types of excuses. So what we do is we help you create retargeting audiences out of those leads, and then we remarket to those people with really good video content. So what Whitley will do, if we go back to the marketing part of this, and I go to my Mike B funnel. If you notice right here on my Mike B funnel, it says Facebook audience. Now, normally, if you want to create an audience, you have to set up all this retargeting stuff. But because of Whitley, just go boop, create that audience, and then boom, the audience has been created inside of Facebook. So I don't actually have to go back into Facebook and download a CSV file and upload it. and then tweak it and do all the stuff. All I have to do is click Facebook audience. And then if I go back into my audiences, you'll see right here, that list that I just created was automatically created right inside of Facebook. Now, historically, you guys can do this. You don't have to pay for tools. You can download a CSV file and you can upload it to Facebook. There's also some cool things that you can do. You can create remarketing audiences from the lead form. The only problem is marketing segmentation. Now, what you can think of is basically like, I'm going to organize my leads, new leads, old leads, past clients, sphere of influence. You cannot do that in Facebook, right? You have to continuously download CSV files, upload them to Facebook, change your audience. There's this whole cycle of stuff that you have to do. So instead, if I go into my contacts and I go into my list, I can see the different lists that I have. So if somebody comes in on this funnel right here on my mic B, comes in on this funnel right here, I can manage my Facebook ad audience right inside of Whitley. So if somebody, like, let's say they're a new lead and then they become a past client, well, I don't want to keep marketing to them to buy houses, right? That wouldn't make sense to them, especially. It would probably just upset them. What I want to do instead is I want to change them into my, what I call maybe my referral audience bucket. And now I'm marketing to them to send me more referrals instead of marketing to get them to convert into a new customer. So the reason that we gave you guys the ability to manage your, let's see, we got my new Whitley leads right here. The reason we gave you guys the ability to manage this in here was so you could create really organized experiences, because if you can stay top of mind to your database as well, it's the oldest rule in the book, right? Stay top of mind to generate more referrals. Well, traditionally you have to call, text, email, you have to do all that stuff. Well, now what we can do is we can just show your brand to your past clients, your sphere of influence every day for like $1 a day in Facebook ads. And that helps you generate a more consistent stream of referrals. That's why we gave you guys a lot of these tools. That's why we developed Whitley. What I've learned is that, Mike, and I don't know if you agree with this, most real estate agents don't want to become professional marketers. They have to negotiate deals. They have to meet appraisers and inspectors. They have to do paperwork. They have to run a business. But the problem with that, guys, is that if you aren't a great marketer, you're not really going to have a big real estate company. It's going to be really difficult for you to do some of the things you wanted to do. That's why we developed Whitley.
It's real simple, Grant. That's why I said in this course that they're taking, there's only a few things to buy. And because they're time tested and proven, and they're managing our number one lead sources, right? So there's no way in hell I'm going to do all that. If I can go into Whitley and push a button, that makes sense to me. And if the cost is reasonable and the ROI is there, that's all that matters to me. So it's like, it's a no-brainer, right? Like,
absolutely.
Let's do like 5 minutes of question and answer. And real quick, you think you can see the Q&A here? We'll just answer them live. Don asks, if he doesn't cover, is there a best time of day or best day of the week to post a Facebook ad?
I would say don't launch one on like a Friday, Saturday. You know, if you wanted to launch one late Sunday night or early Monday. Otherwise, there's really not a bad time to launch one. We kind of engineer it because we have a service too where we just jump in and set all this stuff up for people, like 100% of it. So that way they don't even have to set up the ads. And we do all of that on Monday, Tuesdays, because it gives us the best time to launch ads, let them get optimized through before they go into the weekend. Because sometimes a lot of you, if you have access to data, you'll see Saturdays and Sundays are really weak conversion days for launching stuff like this. So we will launch stuff probably the first half of the week, Monday through Thursday, and then we will wait a few days to launch into the next week.
Right. You know, Renee had a really good question on the other side. How does Instagram come into play with posting these ads?
So what we'll do is we'll just select auto placements, and that's going to, as a byproduct, put ads on Instagram. You know, I always tell people, like, look, Facebook is a great way to generate leads, generate customers. Instagram is a great place to build your brand. Right. And so, you know, there's the ad part of Instagram, which Facebook's going to show those ads on Instagram. And then there's the organic, pull your phone out, put out stories, create, engage. Like there's that organic part of of Instagram. I always tell people, like, you want to think like an investor. Like, that's how business people should think, especially now when your time has become instantly incredibly important. You want to find little bitty ways where you can exchange money to do something for you so you can focus your time on the most important task. What I just showed you guys how to do was how to let a few dollars a day work for you so that you could focus on the most important task in your business. So you think about that. You give Facebook a few bucks a day, they're going to give you an opportunity that will turn into a multi-$1,000 commission check. That's creating leverage. That's why we build systems like this. Right. So, Renee, I would say that the short answer is there's an auto placement. Facebook's going to put those ads on Instagram. Otherwise, there's not a ton of other things that this is doing specifically for Instagram.
Right. I know it's important, that collage picture you talked about, because when I've posted Facebook ads with just one picture, the Instagram ad comes out really funny. It's really strange. Yes. All right. So Jennifer, when I have done Facebook ads, clearly nothing like this. I've only chosen USA. For some reason, I get likes from people, lots of countries. So yeah. So that's why I specifically asked that. So we're not allowed to add. So he typed in his town and it had a radius, and he added the county and it went even smaller. So that's how you get that radius. You're not going to be able to target only a certain age or something. But like somebody asked about a golf course community, you can type in people that like golf. There's nothing wrong with that. You're just going to narrow your audience down way too much if you're not doing a specific ad for golf courses. Are you thinking about that, or do you want anything to add to that, Grant?
Well, I was just going to say, like, marketing is messaging at the end of the day. So if you're wanting to market to people on a golf course, make your ad copy pretty centric to golf courses. So here's a list of homes priced under $265K right on the golf course. Like that's kind of how you'll strategically target. So you're keeping your targeting kind of open face to the whole community, but your marketing ad copy, your images, if they're really kind of golf centric, that's visibly going to attract people to whatever it is that you want. So Facebook's not going to let you zero in the target that way, but if your video or if your picture is of homes on a golf course and your copy is home, get a list of homes on a golf course, obviously.
And it's funny you brought up golf course, Noel, because what exactly happened was a new EXP agent, his second day on KV Core, built a golf course specific ad and put it on. All he did was post it. He didn't even run traffic to it, and he got an escrow the next day and like 3 or 4 leads building those pages through KV Core. So it was pretty amazing. So I'm glad you brought that up. Darcy, how often should we be changing the pictures in the original ad and any videos we do following up through targeting?
So don't touch your ad as long as it's working. Like, don't mess with it. Like, if your ad's working, do not touch it. Just let it work. I've found that agents actually have a huge problem with breaking things because they're bored. Most people aren't accustomed to having systems that work for them. As agents, you're taught largely to be producers, which means call 100 people, knock 50 doors, work. That does not make you a good business owner. That makes you a really great employee. Don't touch it. Let the system work. Go spend time with your family. Go play with your kids. Go fishing. Like, do anything but mess with your ads. Because if they're working, you shouldn't touch them. Now, if the ad starts to dip, no leads for a day, 2 days, yes, maybe we should look at changing something or adjusting something.
Gotcha. And then, so what is a good dollar per lead amount, do you think?
We've gotten really accustomed to the $3 to $8 per lead category in most markets. I don't know if that's everybody else's experience. Some will be better, some will be less. We found that we're getting good quality leads with a 3 to 5% conversion rate around $3 to $8 a lead. That means if you're spending $300 to generate 100 leads, you're converting 3 to 5 of those. It's a massive ROI. So it's a really great cost per result there.
I think it depends on your ad too. Like if you put the top 5 best foreclosures in Santa Clarita versus.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I was giving you guys some of the pricing strategies. That's how we kind of turned it into this scientific process. We noticed that if our number was off, the cost per lead would really fluctuate. And so when we figured out how to get that number dialed in about 3 or 4 years ago, we started really seeing some consistency in pricing. As long as we're finding the median price point in every market, typically you're going to see some pretty close lead costs. Now, when it comes to sellers, we've seen it like $18 to $32 per seller leads, if that's the only objective. But for this specific strategy, as long as you're following some of the scientific components to it, it's pretty consistent.
Love it. So what if we wanted to do an ad for, say I want to look for home sellers, and I did 3 or 4 to 5 videos that I wanted to launch a series for working in my community, maybe a couple tips on preparing your home for sale, a couple tips on pricing your home for sale, a couple tips on, thank you.
So if we look at this formula right here, just ignore the top half of this. So I'm basically going to scroll up, like only pay attention to this part right here. So it's a really similar strategy. What we'll do is instead of generating the lead, we will just target our first video at our ideal customer audience or at our ideal audience. And then what we'll do is we'll track how much of this video somebody watches. If they watch at least 3 to 5 or 3 to 10 seconds, we'll just send them to the next video. But if they're really engaged, what we'll do is we'll send them an appointment ad and try to get them to book an appointment with us to learn how to buy or learn how to sell their property. So if you wanted to give them like a tip or things they should know during the coronavirus or like whatever that might look like right now, then you would remarket to them to book an appointment to learn about buying or selling, and then end up listing their house. This right here would be our strategy for doing that. And we have another strategy, and it's one of my favorites on planet Earth. We created it back when there was no inventory, like 2.5 years ago. Major inventory crisis, right? So we created this seller ad. We call it our fish in a barrel campaign. And what we'll do, guys, please do not share this strategy. Like I'm telling you, there are people that invest a ton of money for this information. So I'm only doing this because of Mike. Please do not share this with anybody. If you do, I'll know, and I'm gonna be really upset because I'm one of the few people in the world that teaches this. So what we'll do is we'll take our buyer's story. Everybody's got a buyer, right? What we realized during the inventory crisis is that we had way too many buyers and not enough properties. So what we were doing is we were getting those buyers to do one of two things. Either tell us their story, and then we were saying, hey, we have a buyer on video. Hey, we've got a buyer looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bath in the Whispering Timber subdivision. They're wanting to buy around $250,000. And we would just tell their story. The reason they want to buy is because of this. They need to do this. They need to do that. Or gangster strategy, get them to record the video. And then you get all the emotion, you get all the excitement, you just get all of that. And so we would take that story and then we would target market before this worked like crazy before Facebook did a lot of the targeting restrictions, but we would literally drop a pin on the subdivision they wanted to live in. And that video would basically just live there for a while until they found a house, which was incredible. But it still works really good, even though we don't have some of the targeting strategies. So all we're doing is we're sharing a buyer's story or letting them share it in an ad. And then like, hey, if you have a house or you know of somebody that's looking to sell, just comment below, send us a message, whatever we wanted our call to action to be. And that still to this day is my favorite seller strategy, and it's one that works everywhere we run. It's another one of those ads that's just been crazy. I'm not a huge fan of home value ads. It's such a worn out strategy, but we all fall in love with the stories we hear. And that strategy it was insane how well it worked and how well it works now. So do not under any circumstances share that information with anybody. But if I was going to generate sellers, that's the exact strategy that I would use because it works like crazy.
All right, we got to wrap it up, but here's what I'm going to ask or beg you to do. I'm going to ask you to go into the Agent Mechanics coaching group, do a post of the first video they should watch that explains Whitley more, and whatever else you feel valuable, a discount code, anything that you feel valuable in the Agent Mechanics with Mike Bjorkman coaching group. And then that way we can all have a discussion this week about our homework, about what's going on, and I'll put my homework in there as well. And then we can communicate that way because we do have to wrap it up right now. It's 11 o'clock and I promise everybody will be done by then. Dude, thank you so freaking much. I owe you big, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot of Whitley buyers on this. So let's jump into the coaching group and start communicating there. Oh, you guys see that? All right, any more questions and answers, bring them over to the Agent Mechanics group, and I'm sure Grant will answer questions when we can get to it. But I also know he's got a really good Whitley video that explains half of these questions. But I love you guys. Thank you. Watch the Zooms. I'm going to jump on another one right now in Real Closers. We're going to talk about the market, that kind of stuff. But hang in there, everybody. I know this is a crazy week. And Grant, thank you. I'll see you in the coaching group. Appreciate you guys.